All right, we're recording. So welcome everyone to this new session of Arduino education. Thank you so much for joining. And as you know, today we're talking about the Arduino Inspiration Lab, which we created in partnership with TechNobel. So today what I am going to talk about is, first, I want to give you an introduction so you have the whole context to understand why we created this Inspiration Lab. And then, of course, we're going to talk about what is the lab's goal. And also, we have a short interview with Anthony Jacks, which is one of the trainers at TechNobel. So you also get to know a little bit more about what is TechNobel and what they do. And then I'm going to talk about the Inspiration Lab training and workshop concept or teaching approach, and then opportunities and next steps. So if you're ready, let's get started. Also, I'm a huge fan of quotes, so you will be seeing many of them because I think it's a great way to better convey the message. So you will see some quotes there. So let's get started. So here is the introduction, and I'm for sure you know already some of the things that I'm going to mention, but bear with me again, because I want you to have the whole picture of the creation of the Inspiration Lab. So as you know, technology is transforming everything in our lives, how we think, how we learn, how we play, how we relate to each other, and how we play and how we work. An example of this is like a few years ago, we were talking about machine learning, and that needs to big data centers and computers to run. And now we can run machine learning and artificial intelligence in microcontrollers. So this is happening now very quickly than any other point in human history. And this rapid development of technologies calls for a different approach in education, in pedagogies, because as you know, right now there is a skill gap in the STEM-related jobs. So we need that the school equip students to meet those needs. We need more students to be exposed to these STEM subjects. But then imagine a child now in middle school, they will be entering the prime of their careers in maybe 2040, and we have no idea how the world would like then. So that is why it's very important that they can develop these timeless skills that the force is: curiosity, creativity, communication, collaboration, and also the other 21st century skills. They need to master technologies that don't exist yet. So we need more active and learners and teachers. And that's why education must be adapted to both this current situation and the future situation and the needs of the society and also companies. And of course, we need to have our teachers ready to help them develop the qualities that the students need to face those challenges in the near and in the future world. And that's why many schools are adopting now this STEAM and project-based learning approach as a way to help the students to solve problems in real-world context. And as you know, project-based learning, it's all about sustaining the doing and supporting the learning. And in this approach, the educators now are more facilitators and guides, and students are taking more the control or leading their learning. And this can help also the students to be more motivated, to increase engagement. They need to continuously looking for solutions, then find a solution, evaluate that, and create that, trying to solve different problems. And this could lead to have like a more relevant and authentic learning for the students that then will get them ready for these career STEAM related jobs, and also developing these very important and timeless 21st century skills. So as Jean Piaget mentioned, the goal of education should be able to create men and women capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done. And this is exactly what we need right now, students that do new things. But there is always challenges when we try to do new and different things. In this case, about implementing project-based learning and STEM programs, it's hard for schools and for teachers trying to adapt to that change, to change the way they have been teaching, try to implement new ways, innovating teaching. We know that teachers, they don't have enough time to develop materials, to deal with the curriculum, to find tools and technology. And we know that many teachers, they are not feel very comfortable and confident running STEAM programs. It's hard for them to implement these STEAM programs. They are worried about the quality of project the students build, and also they are worried about the evaluation and the grading using these approaches. And that's why at Arduino Education, we offer them all of that. We support them with all of that, creating STEAM content, you know, all what we do, right? Everything is in one kit. We follow the project-based learning methodology, and we train and support the teachers. So that's a lot of help for them. But also in this new, well, not new, this ever-changing education world, there's another player or another actor or another layer, which is the maker movement or the maker education and the maker spaces. As also Jean Piaget says, education means making creators. So the fact that the maker spaces allow students to become creators, that has become super appealing to schools, especially to K-12 schools. Because at the university, it's more common that you can find this kind of maker spaces, right? But it's a little bit harder to find them in K-12 schools. So as you know, the maker movement has its roots outside the schools. It's more like community centers, institutions, science museums, libraries, etc., other spaces. And it's all about learning by doing, which also has to do a lot with the project-based learning, right? It's like the same principle. And a makerspace is about turning knowledge into action. I really like that. So you apply your knowledge in what you are doing. And also now that all the tools that you need to run a makerspace, they have become more affordable. So that's why also K-12 schools are turning to trying to implement the maker space philosophy or in the school. So, and this is very interesting because they can do it with the emphasis on STEM content areas. And there is a good, interesting way to experiment with schools curriculum while they develop these world skills at the same time. So also this it's very appealing to have this kind of more informal setting at the schools that just run, for example, the CTC Go or whatever other kit in the classroom, right? In the space where you take other subjects. To go this kind of spaces where you can be more playful, different type of environment. So it's very appealing now for schools trying to have this kind of spaces. But of course, there are so many challenges in trying to do that. We know that schools have not enough funding to do that. They don't have enough time to start planning this kind of spaces. Maybe they don't have also room of enough place to try to build this kind of maker spaces at schools. And again, also teachers are not very familiar of running STEAM-based program. So now ask them to run a maker space. So it's very hard to do that. And also it's just not like a copy paste. So what do you do in a maker space? You do it exactly for schools. Maybe these technologies might be reconfigured to use in the schools. So it's very challenging for schools to do that, although some of them have made them very successfully. But the good thing is that education happens everywhere. Education extends beyond the classroom. There are other many places where learning experiences happens. So that's a very good thing about this. So that's why we need different spaces where just students can sit next to each other and talk and learn. We need more spaces outside school when they can, more in this of like these informal places, playful places, that they can collaborate, communicate, and work together. We need more spaces, more flexible, multi-purpose spaces beyond the classroom. And if we have these spaces, then we have more opportunities to engage students in this STEM mindset so they can spark their creativity. So having these kind of spaces, it's a really good opportunity for distributed expertise in which everyone is allowed to play, to collaborate, and to take multiple roles. So also, if you think this kind of more playful spaces could help us, hopefully narrowing the gender gap, right, in the STEM field. If you can see more and more girls going to this kind of spaces, then we can hopefully attract more of them. And the idea is not to make these students become engineers or mathematicians. The idea is to make them aware or to show them what is out there so they can reach the full potential. So that's the main idea. And that's why we started, or we created, the Inspiration Lab together with TechNobel. So this is a space to learn, of course, electronics, coding, and programming, making these real-world connections. It's a space where they can come, freely explore, design, get inspired also by seeing and talking to others. And of course, one of the goals is to enhance their skills, but also having fun. And of course, that they can feel the joy of making in a different setting that school is, more informal, as I was mentioning before. And I really like this quote. The goal of education is not to increase the amount of knowledge, but to create the possibilities for the child to invent and discover. That's why, and that's another reason for creating these kind of spaces, to give the students the possibility to experience other things. As you know, we have been running EduVision for many years now, and we have guests from all around the world from different areas. And all of them, they agree that many brilliant minds have been lost because sometimes we don't offer the students enough possibilities and tools to discover. So that's why, again, I cannot stress this enough, having these kind of spaces to give them these opportunities. It's very important, it's crucial. So then the Arduino Inspiration Lab right now is a dedicated space within TechNobel, and it's accessible to anyone. So we offer teacher training and workshops on the Arduino education solutions and off-site. We also offer teacher coaching on how to create lessons, more engaging lessons. And of course, we emphasize as well community sharing. And also we offer some courses for students with official Arduino certification, which is also very important. So what can you do here? Everything that I mentioned before, but also you can come if you're an educator or a student, and if you have seen on the internet or somewhere a kit that you may be interested in, but you are not sure how it works, you can come, you can take that kit and you can try it out, you can ask questions, and you can experience, have this feel. And then you can say, yes, I want to try this at school. So having this opportunity also for teachers is very important. Of course, you can join to different training sessions, you can get certified. And we're also thinking of giving students some badges when they finish the different training sessions or workshops that they can join to. And of course, it's a space to explore, to work together, to work on other projects. And again, as I mentioned, it's a great space to talk to other people too and learn from their experiences. So that's also very important. So we want this space to be a home for schools, teachers, and educators to join and collaborate, to connect, and as I was mentioning, to share your experiences, what has been working for you in the classroom, what not, ask questions, seek support. And it's very important if you come, well, these kind of places that are outside school, you can find people from different disciplines, from different schools with different teaching and learning approaches. So just sit with these people and see what they're doing. There's a huge learning experience, and that will help building a community. So also community, you know, for Arduino, it's very important because that makes you part of something. So you can grow and learn more and collaborate. So that's also what we want this inspiration lab to be. So of course, our goals is to promote this technology innovation and development, make these tools available for anyone that wants to learn, to make, like as we say always in Arduino, make complex technologies easy to use for anyone. So we can help students to develop these 4Cs skills, prepare them, and again, give the students the possibility to be exposed to this kind of technology, to this, develop these skills. So they can also have the possibility to find their career path, discover what they are good at. If they are never exposed to these things, how they can know what they are good at. Maybe they don't even know that probably they're very good at engineering or something, but again, if you are not giving them the tools to explore, how can they know? And we can also help them with the career readiness. And for educators, support them and train them to build teaching practices for delivering engaging, hands-on, and playful STEM learning. Playful, it's very important, and I'm also going to talk about later on, but engaging, hands-on, playful STEM learning. So let's talk a little bit about TechNobel, our partner here. So TechNobel is a training and vocational center in Cine in Belgium. You can see the map there. It's 1 hour from Brussels and very close to Paris and Luxembourg. So we together created this space with the full range of Arduino education products. And they have been there for around 20 years. So they have a lot of experience training mainly teachers, but now also students. And we have Anthony Jacks, which is one of the trainers at TechNobel. He also have a lot of experience training now. So I prepare a little video for you to get to know Anthony and what they do at TechNobel. It's around 5-minute video. So let's take a look.
First time elementary teacher at the beginning. This is maybe the first thing I want to say because it shows that everyone can do that and can train with those tools that we are going to talk about today. And I'm here at TechNobel, which is a training center in Belgium, and I'm a trainer. So my job is to train teachers in using technologies in their classrooms. Well, TechNobel is, like I said, a training center which trains unemployed people so that they can find a new job.
Rox, I don't know the others, but I cannot hear it. I think it's because you were mute.
Them
Now,
Yeah, also couldn't.
sorry.
First is just to understand the world surrounding them. I think it's really important to understand that the world is functioning with a lot of technologies, with a lot of code, with a lot of STEAM skills, and we have to understand what's happening. That is really, really important to understand that. And then there are the competencies that people will need in tomorrow's world. And we know that a lot of jobs are neither not existing now, and they will exist in a few years from now, or they are evolving with new technologies in mind. So we are changing, the society is changing, and we need those skills because they are important in that change. This is a really important matter. And in Belgium, if I can close with that, we also have our schools curriculum that are evolving regarding that, and that are asking the teachers to build more and more use of technological tools. So that is also a reason why teachers have to train. It's to get the tools they need to prepare their students for their future. Well, it's always kind of magical because they realize that they can do things that they were thinking were impossible. Because when you tell them that those electronic boards are everywhere, they feel like they have some superpower. And then when they realize that in a few hours they can play with many components, then they realize that they are just starting their process of creating new things and be able to do a lot of things. It's really a tools of creativity. So far, they are really excited at every stage. And when I run CTC Go, I can also see the difference between the first hours where we are just blinking an LED, and then the final projects that the CTC Go is proposing when they are building bigger things. They love it because they can see how creativity can bring them to do better projects. So they are always amazed, and I think it's give them some self-confidence as well, because at the beginning sometimes they are scared, or they think that they won't be able to do something, and then they realize that yes, they are able and they are good at it. They collaborate, they share, they reflect on plenty of things, and that is such a great adventure with them. Well, it was super important for us because when we met the Arduino education resources, we found a tool that once again was good to help teachers get started with Arduinos and get reassured, because it's not only, and it's not at all about material we are using. It's super cool, but it's about what we are going to do in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So with the platform and with the teams that you have, you really have something strong for teachers to really teach with. And that was important for us to stay in touch with you and keep the link, because we wanted to ensure the best experience possible. There are a lot of electronic boards, but there are a lot of them, but a lot of people will also have bad experiences with that. And those bad experiences often comes from bad habits or something that you didn't learn correctly, or because you were alone trying things in your own corner. It's really a good way to exchange between us, and we know that we can reach out to you when we need something, when we have a question, when we are making an event and we maybe want to do some special workshop. We know we can make some feedbacks about the work you're doing, and you can also empower us in the way we train teachers. So it's really a strong link we can build with you. The fact that they know there is a space where they can come and learn and experiment and share with me, and we can construct something together, that is the first thing. And that is also a place that is well equipped. And so I have a lot of teachers that are starting to take that and to take some inspiration for the classroom as well, because they see the material, the tools we use, the material we use, and they're like, okay, that's cool. I could do that in my classroom as well, because it's another way of seeing a classroom and seeing how it works. So I would say first is to encourage them doing what they want to do, train them, show them, well, what we are doing, and exchange with them and construct something together.
All right, so that's a short interview, with Anthony. The full interview is 17 minutes. I will share that with you separately because he also addressed other important issues. But I just want to show you, this was one of Anthony's workshop with some students using the CTC code. So he's very good at documenting all the trainings he runs with students, and also he encouraged students to do so. So that's another engaging way for them to record their experience, and then they can share that. So yeah, as I mentioned, he has a lot of experience running this, and he has implemented very interesting and cool techniques to engage students and to keep that engagement. So next student, okay. So now I want to talk to you about the training and workshops at the Inspiration Lab. What is our approach? So again, the main idea, of course, is to support and train educators so they can deliver engaging, hands-on, playful STEAM learning. Because as Jean Piaget also said, knowledge is a consequence of experience. And also Anthony mentioned that experience is very important. You can learn for sure Arduino, electronics and programming, like in following a tutorial. There's a ton of resources online, but the experience is different if you come to a center and talk to people and discover different ways to engage your students. So we want to create and design these learning experiences. So as I was mentioning a lot of times, to help the students and to help the teachers to develop these super relevant skills. And this is very important for teachers too, because these experiences should translate into teachers' particular classrooms, because they also face different situations in the classroom. So the fact that they can apply that in their particular classroom, it's very important. And this way we can, again, keep the student engaged, because that's also a huge challenge that teachers face. How can I keep my students engaged? So this way they can deliver meaningful, relevant, and fun learning and teaching experience. So how can we that? So there is a bunch of techniques and methods that teachers can use to encourage student participation. We know that some students are not that verbal, so it's important to include them too in their learning. There's also some ways of experiment and implement through different approaches. And one of those are gamification. I don't know if you have heard about this, but it's applying some of the features that Play has, and then use this in a different setting, like in this case, education. So this has very good results. Because this makes all the learning experience more immersive and playful for the students, and they can learn better. And of course, we want to reward them. At the beginning, I was mentioning some sorts of badges and certifications for them. And also a very important thing, it's about include students in their learning. So through these tips and techniques that we want to share with teachers, they can do that with students, because as Benjamin Franklin mentioned, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So that's also very meaningful for students to get involved in their own education. There's another very important thing, which is the teacher role. As I mentioned before in this slide, the project-based learning approach, like the teacher, we mentioned that now they become more sort of facilitator and guide. So many teachers now are asking, yes, project-based learning it's awesome, it's great that if the students are leading their own learning, but then what is my role? What am I doing? So of course, teachers are facilitators because then they're going to help students to reach their goals, their success. But they are also designers because they need to design the lessons, they need to design the setting, they need to design how the class is going to be. And they are collaborators because in order to do that, they need to collaborate with other teachers and with the students to reach this goal. So it's not just to reduce the role to a facilitator. So we also want the teachers through the trainings and the workshops to be aware and to feel comfortable with this role. And one of the game changers for teachers is to realize or to know where to focus their attention to support the student success. So again, we want them to help doing this. Because as Simon Papert mentioned, the role of a teacher is to create conditions for invention rather than to provide ready-made knowledge. So again, give the students all the support so they can find this, the creating part and the maker part. So be able to create these conditions. It's very important that the teacher is aware of, and they are not scared or upset like, now I'm only a guide, I'm a facilitator. They're not. So they need to also to be aware of this role and be able to provide this for students. So we also want to support them in doing that. So what are the Inspiration Lab opportunities? So as you know, with this technology, super quick changes, there are many parents and schools and teachers looking for new ways to engage and reach students, to bring STEM to their community and beyond. There are also opportunities because technology-related business in education industry are seeing that they need more the workforce in these areas. So probably they are willing to invest in this kind of spaces. Also, there is a push for STEM programs after school, so they can have teachers and students train in these fields. And of course, it's a very good opportunity for professional development, not only for teachers and for students, but if someone wants to become a teacher training, they can also learn in these centers. And of course, this helps us to make our message and education offer stronger. And I just want to tell you a little bit what was the process of creating this Inspiration Lab. So as I mentioned you before, the TechNobel work very closely with Rato, which is our education partner. And sometimes, or many times, they run training with Rato education. So when they learned the education, the Arduino education kits, they were very interested in having this kind of center. So we have many calls trying to understand what they wanted and also what we need to be this center to be. And then we reach an agreement to have the best possible collaboration in order to do that. So we sign an agreement, and basically we talk about continuous evaluation. They need to be continuously trained. We talk to each other a lot. We have phone calls, meetings, feedback to always improve what we are offering teachers and schools and students. We also have on this agreement some communication and spaces requirements, such as how to use the Arduino brand guidelines and how we communicate on social media, and of course about the space layout, the security, the equipment. They renovate this space that you saw in the picture to have the inspiration lab. They have this rounded table to accommodate students and better communication and teamwork. Also, we have some materials and tools. They need to have some kits in stock. Also, it's very good that they have also some soldering station, 3D printers and laser cut to allow students to do more. And they are also testing new products for us, which is also very exciting for them and for us too, the possibility to test the new products that we are going to launch. And we also have included in this agreement an operation manual, which is a very detailed description of the best practices that we have collected during these years of training with you partners and schools and teachers. So also to help them to develop or to keep up with the Arduino training standards. So we have recommendations for on-site, online training. For every kit, we have a recommendation of this activity works better than the other, this project works better than the other, because we have some constraints also when we do training. So this is an operation manual with the recommendations for best practices. And as you know, we just started with this partnership with these centers where we are very excited about the future. So what we envision is, imagine have this inspiration lab in the 4+ countries that we have presence through you guys, through our educational partners. It would be great to have a center there and even more countries. And just imagine this, to expose students to international learning experience. So I think this is great for them. So imagine having at the Arduino Day, where every center can participate in the challenges that we usually have during these events. And the possibility that they work together in a project and to show them to the world. You know that the Arduino Day reaches a lot of people out there. We have a huge community. So the possibility for the students to see their work out there and many people watch, it's great for them. So they can create a project, document that and communicate that it's great. Also the possibility of having events like the STEAM Day and they work together in projects. Also, we can have the Arduino Innovation Lab competition and challenges all around the world. Imagine students from different Arduino inspiration labs around the world. What if you can make a project and collaborate, if you are in Belgium, for example, with another inspiration lab in Germany, for example, or in the US. Now with the lockdown, with the pandemic, we saw that it's possible to also collaborate and work online. So imagine also that experience from teachers in one country to work with other students in a different country. Imagine how huge that learning experience would be. And we want our students to be able to be exposed to that. And also, of course, having summer programs for the students, and also to have more social gatherings like day for quizzes and games. So we want that for the center in the near future. And just to close, I have two more quotes. The goal of education is not just to increase the amount of knowledge, but again, to create the possibilities for a child to invent and discover. And of course, we cannot teach people everything they need to know, but what we can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to know. So that's why we think it's very important to have this type of centers to support teachers and students all around the world and get our students and teachers also better prepared for now and for the near future. So that's what I wanted to show you today. I don't know if you have any questions about this, but as you also know that if you're interested in this and you have more questions, you can always write me an email. You all have my email, or then we have a call. So I will be more than happy to tell you more in detail about this agreement that we signed with TechNobel. So I don't know if you have any questions. I don't see any questions on the chat. So if you don't have any questions again, that's it from our side. So I hope that this has been useful for you, and that hope that you're interested in this and maybe think of opening an inspiration lab. It would be great. So
could we possibly get a copy of the presentation?
Of course, I will send you this.
Thank you.
Of course. So if there is no other comment, or thank you, Bernardo. And again, just please let me know, and on an email if you have further questions, more detailed questions. I will be more than happy to help you with this. And thank you so much again for joining. And I hope you have a great day today, and see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.